Uncle Ron stuff. Today's topic is BMW Z3 2.8 liter 1997 thermostat housing replacement. And partly I'm going to talk about the thermostat replacement, and part of it I'm talking about the housing. First of all, thermostat, I had replaced it maybe 10, 12 years ago, and it wasn't acting right. So there are various thermostats available with different temperature ratings. And I initially thought, well, maybe I'll get one of the lower ones, and I ordered it. Then I got to looking at it and thinking about it, and it's not a recommended practice unless you're going to be in a very hot climate and do a lot of racing. So I went back to the OEM specified 192 Fahrenheit, whatever that is in centigrade, thermostat, and that's what I'm putting in. Okay, and while I was at it, when I replaced this thermostat the first time, about 15 years ago, 12 years ago, um, this is the housing for it, and it, I got it, yeah, that it actually sets in the unit kind of like this, the other way. Yeah, here we go. That's the way it sets into the unit with hose to the radiator top over here and the hose from the bottom of the radiator on this side. Anyway, the last time I had to replace the thermostat is because this piece of plastic had cracked. Okay, and that is a common problem on Z3s. Is this piece of plastic won't hold up. In fact, I have not been impressed with BMW's use of plastic anywhere. I know they did it to save money and weight, but it just won't stand up to heat long term. So this time I was replacing the thermostat. I said I was aware that there was a fully aluminum version of it, like this. And when I replaced it last time, I ordered it, and this is what they sent me. And I said, this isn't aluminum. They said, yes, it is. And I said, no, it isn't. Anyway, I gave up on it, but this is totally plastic. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so this time I ordered the full aluminum one, which is made in Taiwan, of course. And it looks okay, except for this this rubber gasket right here. On the original one, let's try this. On the original one, this gasket right here, it sets flat. It sets flat against, you see, I always get it backwards. You see that it sets flat against the face of the thermostat covering. Okay. Now, on the aluminum one, you can see that this flange, this gasket, does not set flat. It sets up. And I didn't notice it to start with, and I tried installing this, I don't know why I can't get that right. I tried installing this particular, I had the thermostat in, and I could not get this bolt. Let's see. Yeah. I could not get this bolt to engage, or this bolt actually, because this flange sets up and it will not compress against the face of the thermostat, the engine block. will not set against it flat. So flat, edged up. Alright, so you know what? I look around and people who have switched over to the aluminum one found that, yep, it came with this gasket. Now, I had to order a flat one, like what was in the old housing. Uh, Either way, I was going to have to, if I want to use the old housing, I would have to get a new gasket for it. And I really would like to go to the aluminum since I finally, okay, let's finally put aluminum on there. So I at least don't have to worry about this thing breaking or cracking in the future. And the aluminum one seems to be manufactured okay. It's by URO Parts. Again, it comes out of Taiwan. But I got to get it to mount, and the only way to do that is to get a new gasket. So if you go this route with the aluminum one, you're gonna need a new gasket that fits the old plastic style thermostat. I don't know why everything is so difficult, but it does. It seems to be sometimes. The thermostat orientation, it's interesting. On the one that I pulled out, it had an arrow pointing straight up, and the intent was to set it that way, and that meant that the vanes, the two metal tabs on the thermostat, were completely out of the way. They were not vaned up or anything. It's the minimum surface area for a thermostat for the water pump to push water through the block and everything. Okay, so this time the thermostat had no up arrow, but I repeated the same process. I installed it such that the metal arms that hold the thermostat out were oriented such that they're the minimum amount of metal showing to the water flow. That's about all I got on it. Hopefully I'm getting a new gasket for this that I'm going to put in this and get it all put back together. I think that's my problem, but I'm not 100% sure because I had noticed, I don't drive this car very often. The last time I did notice it, I noticed the temperature gauge really wasn't moving. I'd started the car up and it begun to warm up, but the temperature gauge wasn't moving, and I watched it and watched it and watched it, and all of a sudden it broke loose and went right up to the middle where it belonged. So I don't know what, either thermostat related or a bad temperature sensor. And as much as I look, I haven't yet been able to locate exactly where that temperature sensor is in the head. Um, some say it's right up front, the closest to the front on the head at the front of the engine. Others say it's located in the block back between somewhere number 1 and 2, which is way back against the firewall, which means taking off the intake manifold. So I haven't done anything yet, but I suspect I also have a bad temperature gauge. But I'll make sure this time that everything is bled properly, and we'll see what happens. One other point was, this all came about, interesting enough, is that the hose that comes off this side and goes to the top of the radiator had blown off the radiator on that side. The hose had blown off, and when I got to looking at it, it's plastic. That connection is plastic. The rest of the radiator is actually aluminum, but that connection is plastic, and it had cracked a small piece out the bottom and had blown that hose off. So I'm not sure what exactly blowing that hose off it tells me, but when I looked at it, all I had to do was move the hose farther up the plastic fitting and clamp it down tight, and I did manage to get it home, and it did not overheat. I had put enough coolant in it, so, and it drained there's a little cap on top of the radiators. You have to unscrew with a Phillips screwdriver and make sure that the coolant is fully filling the radiator and starts bubbling out that hole. And I had done that. I don't think it was 100% full. I'm going to do it this next time. I'm going to make sure that all the bubbles, air bubbles, are out of the system, and that's how you bleed it, is via that small set screw in the thermostat and the radiator housing. That's enough for today. I'm sure nobody cares, but this is a 1997 BMW Z3 2.8. The other issue I've had with this is I went to some of the BMW parts web supplier, was supposed to know everything about everything, and I ordered this aluminum gasket. Okay, and when it came, it didn't look like anything like this. In fact, it had a electrical fitting right here, and it turned out that on the M series there was a BMW Z3M. Not very many of them. I have seen one, but there was, and it has an electrically operated thermostat. They said the one that would fit my 2.8 liter obviously was an M. So that's what they sent me, and I had to send it back. So even the parts geeks who deal only in BMW parts can get it wrong, especially on one like this. It was a 2.8, and apparently there weren't that many of those. They were only really installed in the M series. So they said, oh, well, you know, all 2.8s have electrically operated thermostat, and that was not true in my case. So you got to watch out when you order parts, because the best way is use your VIN number. That will help them pinpoint exactly what fits your car, but even that is no guarantee. You may still wind up getting a part with a bad gasket in it. This is the right configuration for me, but the wrong gasket. And one final note, I did notice it looked like this gasket could be cut, and that may have solved the problem, that if I cut it down to the line, but I didn't really want to do that, so I ordered, it was like $3, the proper gasket. That's enough for today. This is BMW 1997 Z3 2.8 liter. I don't know of anything else to add. That's it for today. Today is the 30th of April 2023. It's been a while, but I had nothing good to report. So hopefully somebody at some time somewhere will be looking up thermostat replacement, and maybe this will come up and add a little piece of information that you did not get somewhere else. That's it for Uncle Ron's stuff today.